Hi folks, this is Farid Premani again back in episode with Ignite the Spark, but this time we are trying to bring in Facebook live version instead of radio shows, and the purpose is the same because I've been bombarded with some messages and thank you calls, but sorry couldn't continue that radio show. It was taking too much time, but the good thing is that we are trying to start the live session now, and after that live session what we do is it will be a 15-minute kind of every week session where we'll try to bring in mentors, experts, and they'll chime in. You can get into the live mentorship mode with a 15-minute talk. So today our speaker with me who I'm going to interview is Heather, and she's been on the Forbes 50 top female influencers and entrepreneur based in Austin. And let me try to get her in. Bear with me because this is kind of a new Facebook feature we are trying to include. So hey Heather, are you in? Can you hear me? Heather? Heather, are you in? Can you hear me? I think we are trying to get in the live Ignite the Spark mentorship session with Heather and Havens. You're trying to add her in. This is instead of a radio session, we are trying to do up a kind of live mentorship talk. So we are testing out this Facebook Live, which is a newer broadcast, and the only purpose to get into this as a suggestion which came out was only more mentorship talk. So just bear with us for a minute and let us try to work out the broadcast feature. I think we are able to get her in. Hey Heather, how you doing?
Good. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Thank you. I think it's a new feature, so we are trying to get you on board. But can you hear me? Is it better?
Yeah, I just can't see you. I mean, I can't see me.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, it's better. It's more informal, but we have people chiming in. So hey, hi Heather.
Hey,
Again,
how are you?
good. How about your side? How's everything going?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done this, so I'm a little I'll go outside. Can you really see me? Because I'm getting a black video screen.
Okay. I think better now. Yeah, the light is better because it's a new feature on Facebook. Not many people have tried so far. So we were thinking, why not to move the radio listenership to this Facebook Live, which is more, people can talk, comment, and, get the mentorship. So here, Heather, let's start with your story. As I spoke, audience, Heather is amongst the top 50 influencers on the women's side, publishing entrepreneurs, Forbes, digital marketing expert. And thank you, Heather, for taking time out of your busy schedule today.
Sure, absolutely. I just realized that you're in Houston and I'm in Austin, so we're both in Texas.
Right. So next time I'll be there, I'll just say you hi there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So getting you, Heather, because every time what we do is the program that we started is like a not-for-profit program, and many people from different walks of life joins us. They are professionals, immigrant, getting into starting up a new career. People who've been unfortunately laid off in this economy. Technology changes so fast that they want to learn. So just over to you. Tell us something about you. How did you start it? What do you do for a living? And how did you get the success line,
Yeah, so I've been an online entrepreneur and marketer since 2003 or 4. My first business plan online was in 1999. I got my digital marketing degree in 2010, but my first $1 million online was in 2005. So I've been pretty much an online entrepreneur for a long time. Different businesses. My latest business, we just grew a settlement company to 0 to 1.5 million in sales here in Austin.
Wow.
So in 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
18
been the latest.
reached
And then
$1.5 million company. Great.
yeah, in 18 months, that was from 0 to 1.5, 18 months here locally. And my first million was 0 to million in 12 months in 2005-06. So yeah, so I do online marketing and strategies and all kinds of fun stuff.
Okay. Wow. Perfect. So I believe there is a slightly connection distortion at my end. Maybe I apologize for that, or maybe it's the Facebook beta version. I think we just got you. The two companies, 1.5 million in 18 months and 1. Can you tell me more about that? These companies.
They were startups. Yeah, they were from zero, from concept to birth, from 0 to 1 to a million and 0 to 1.5. So my expertise is in the launch process and launching the business from concept to idea to actually putting on the marketplace.
Perfect. And what were these? Which markets were they serving? Either into like, were they healthcare, IT, beauty? Which industry does it specifically pertain to?
Yeah, so I was saying hi to my neighbor Jerry. Hi Jerry, you're on the line. So they were in online publishing, and then also supplement weight loss. Non IT. Yeah, everything is an online publishing model, and or an affiliate model, as well as supplement weight loss company. It's basically a B2C conversation.
Perfect. So how did you get into this, Heather? Like, was there something you were specially doing it earlier before into this healthcare space, the diet space, or did you got into it through your digital marketing experience? Like, how did the idea got into actually?
I look at it, everything as marketing. It doesn't matter if I'm selling a widget or selling healthcare or I'm a marketer and a salesperson. So I teamed up with a guy who wanted to do supplements. And so I said, okay. And we created the brand from there. So he had the chemistry background of like the supplements. And then I brought in the brand and the marketing and the structure and all of that he doesn't know. I mean, the thing about online marketing is that if you really understand real online marketing, it doesn't matter what the product is. It just doesn't matter.
Perfect. So digital marketing and footprint praise always plays a role, when you want to get the more audience and get your product moving regardless of the industry. That's a great learning.
Yeah.
So Heather, tell us something about...
It's about,
Go ahead.
It's basically about selling a widget, like I don't care what widget it is, because there's time-tested copywriting principles. Because even though we as human beings there's a lot of technology now, like Facebook Live, we as human beings haven't changed that much. So the time-tested copyright and sales principles and behaviors, it hasn't changed for millions of years. And so if you understand those principles and then understand the medium of online, then it doesn't matter what you're selling. So that's how I view it. I understand the medium of online, but you also have to understand that the psychology of human beings, of why we buy, hasn't changed. That's why you can open up a Bible and read a story, like it or not, agree with it or not, but you understand the story, because we have beings that much over thousands of years.
Perfect. So it's a human psychology that plays a role, and you have mastered those niche, the psychological consumer behavior areas. So that's I think quite igniting news, that anyone who has a passion for anything else, this digital marketing plays a very vital role if you learn those secret sauce. So would you like to share some quick secrets? Because the purpose of the show obviously is you talk about those points which you never share with anybody, and we thank you for that, kind of philanthropic activity, participation to help our people, because there would be many people who would be looking right now, and I'm sure after the live is done, who would be getting inspiration from you, like startup people, doctors, medical people, lawyers. Everybody wants to skip that 9 to 5 life, but the problem it's difficult for them to especially get their hands dirty when it comes to digital marketing. So walk us on your experience, because you have turned out companies from garages to millionaires. How difficult is the journey? And for someone who is a novice, if an infant user, how do they do that? How do they start with this, developing the passion into a commercial advantage career?
So I don't think it has anything to do with passion. I think it has to do with a decision. It's a decision to move into entrepreneurship, stay in corporate. And the distinction between the two is when you're an entrepreneur, you do everything. When you're in corporate, you stay in your entrepreneur, you can't say that anymore. Everything's your job. The other thing in an entrepreneur is that your number one job is to sell. And you have to make sure that you're selling. And that's the number one thing that most entrepreneurs don't know how to do. And so you have to learn the concept of selling and behavior marketing to move forward as an entrepreneur. And if you're a technician like a doctor, it's hard for them to get out of that brain mindset of doctor, which is data, and sales. It's a different side of the brain. And so in my experience, some doctors are okay with sales, most aren't. So they have to move that brain concept into another space.
Okay. Perfect. That brain concept, right role, the left brain and the right brain. So how difficult is this journey? Do you feel that somebody who has that kind of strive to start up their own digital marketing business, and obviously every digital, do you think it's something that one can do? Ask this question, like how do they start? Like, is it go ahead or how does the journey work like?
Are you broken?
There is a
how hard is it? Say that again.
How much committed you have to be in the journey? Does it has to be the full-time thing? Can it be done part-time and gradually you switch or cannibalize to this thing?
Okay, ask the question one more time.
I'm sorry, there is a connection problem. That's why I think our voices are breaking. But I'm asking, let's say if somebody wants to start this digital front business, continuing their day job, 9 to 5 job, how can they start off? Like, does it take too much time on their end, or it can be part-time initially, or they can dedicate some time off the schedule? Like, what do you advise as a mentor for people who wants to start it along with something 5 job?
They have to spend a lot of time. So it's like a bell curve. You spend a lot of time at the forefront building it. And then at the end, you can, relax a little more. But there's going to take a lot of time in the forefront building it out and having teams and figuring out what your product is and your brand. And so what happens is people have a widget and they don't want to take the time to figure out the brand and the concept of the brand. They just want to, they just want to put it on the marketplace and make millions. But the problem with that is if you don't have the brand and the structure and the message to market, that's where I come in, then you're not going to have any sales.
Okay. So digital expertise obviously plays a role. What were the 3 different or difficult hiccups that you faced while turning out your businesses from the startup phase to this $1 million level? What were the 3 most difficult situation, or I should say obstacles, that you faced?
Scaling the business, traffic, converting the right traffic, and then dealing with employees, which is basically vendors.
Perfect. So vendors A, traffic B, and conversion of those traffic into the sales pitch. Perfect. Heather, won't taking much of your time because I requested for 15 minutes. I know you have to rush out to another meeting.
Yeah,
Just
sorry.
last question, what is your philosophy for life? Like if I ask you what is that one mission statement which you revises everything, like I have no gain, no pain, what is that for you?
No gain, no pain. That's not a good one. So what you're putting out in the universe is that the only way to gain is pain. So for me, the thing that I say is, does this feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? So we as human beings, when we're clear, we can move. When we move, we can have momentum. When we have momentum, we can create and make money. When we're stuck and we're just swirling and we don't know what direction to go, then there's no movement, there's no momentum, there's no action. So the piece of success is clarity. So you got to get clear. And so I asked myself that question, does it feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity?
Perfect. No, very well elaborated. Thank you. So clarity builds the momentum, and then further you get much more clarity to reach near the goal. Excellent. Thank you, Heather. And thank you very much for being on the show and accepting the Ignite the Spark. Have a good one and have a blessed Friday. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Mwah.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. I'm not sure how to